Hey y'all. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. How y'all doing? Welcome. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards. I am a mental and emotional wellness creative, licensed professional counselor, and certified life enhancement coach. And this is Live Stream Tuesday, right here on Facebook and YouTube. If you are watching this on Facebook, go ahead and like my page so that you can get the notifications on when I go live. And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, please. I need to get to 100 YouTube subscribers so that I can go ahead and personalize my page and things. And so do that and make sure you hit the little bell to get the notifications. And if you're watching this on the replay on Facebook or on YouTube, go ahead and comment hashtag replay so I can say, hey, go ahead, whatever. I am going to get myself and my husband something to eat. I do not cook every night, and especially not tonight, because I was actually prepping some food and things, like prepping a lot of my seasoning and stuff for um, for my Thanksgiving dinner. So I didn't really, I wasn't cooking. I'm not cooking. Um, so there's that. um, and so my husband got home from work. He got home a little late tonight from work, and so we needed something to eat. So that's why I'm in the car. Um, it's the topic for tonight is battling perfection, and it's a topic that I've actually been quite looking forward to because this internal battle that I have with perfection and the to be perfect, or the need to like be really, really good at everything. And really try not to make mistakes and like my whole connection to the idea of failure. Um, it has been something that like as I move through my change journey and as I actually like get into my healing, and like growing my business, growing my brand, and just growing myself as a human, like as an individual, um, there have been a lot of opportunities for me to confront this issue for myself. And that has been very interesting, but it's also been very, very life changing. And so I wanted to do this talk, just kind of talk to y'all about the reality of that, because I think that for a lot of us, we as we are moving through our change journey, we underestimate how much confrontation there really is. It's not always just about making a decision to change and then, like everything's supposed to be good from there and, smooth sailing and all that other shit. Like the truth of the matter is that there's a great deal of internal confrontation that needs to take place, that needs to happen. Hey, Ramona, watching on YouTube. But perfectionism is something that a lot of us struggle with, it's something that a lot of us struggle for. And that idea of having to be perfect, especially for Black people, because, it's well known in the culture that we, in order for us to get our just due, we can't just be good enough, like we have to be the best. We have to go above and beyond. And that mentality, while there is some merit to it, to a certain extent, there is some merit to putting your best foot forward and, wanting to be the best at whatever it is that you do. Like feeling like you're obligated to do that, or like if you are not the best, then you're not shit, like that's very detrimental. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, for me myself, as I move through my journey, one of the things that I recently kind of wrapped my mind around, because this has been a battle for me, you know. And one of the things that I recently feel like like a little revelation that I had is that my threshold for what is considered to be failure is extremely low, you know. And like I really just came to this realization within the last, I don't know, I guess I would say maybe like about a month now. You know, I've been kind of processing that. But like my threshold for what I consider to be failure is way too low. And so what ends up happening is that I find myself in a place where I am working hard toward the goal. I'm, taking necessary steps and doing things that need to happen in order for me to be able to accomplish that goal. And then if I don't meet whatever standard it is that I set for myself, or if I don't meet whatever expectation, which is typically usually an arbitrary expectation that I set for myself that's not really based in anything, I just have this idea in my mind of what I believe I should be able to accomplish. And when I don't meet that, it causes me to feel like I have failed. And not only like I have failed in that moment, um, but like I am a failure. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then all of the crazy thoughts start coming, like, don't nobody give a shit about what you have to say. And, maybe this is not your ministry. Maybe this is not what you should be doing. And, like just all of that negative self-talk starts to come into play. And that feeling of failure then becomes a feeling of shame, and feeling shameful toward myself. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe you know maybe I'm not the best, or like shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And so it just kind of goes down this negative cycle of negative thoughts, negative feelings, which lead to negative behaviors, which for me manifest themselves in the form of procrastination, manifest themselves in the form of um, putting things off, uh, creative block, um, just not being able to get done the shit that I need to get done. And so it's been an internal battle for me, and I've really been, putting more of a focus on, you know, really looking at what my threshold is for what is to be considered a failure, or what is to be considered failure. And, making some tweaks and making some adjustments in that place. This idea that, you know, perfection, or like being perfect at something, or making sure that something is perfect, is actually hurting me more than it's helping me. Because I think in our minds, right? And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. But in my mind, the way this thing goes is that I tell myself that in order to be successful, I have to be perfect. It has to be well put together, because look at this one over there, and they should look like X, Y, and Z. Or Oprah should be looking real good, and it's like, yeah, bitch, but Oprah is a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Oprah should look good. You know what I'm saying? Like comparing myself to people who are on a whole other level than where I am. And if I don't meet that standard, if I'm not perfect, if everything is not perfectly placed, if everything is not like, if the system is not perfectly set up, if it's not exactly this, if it's not exactly that, then it's a failure. And the reality is that it's not, you know? And so like I'm really making room for myself, and like making room for my mistakes and my failures, because if I didn't learn nothing else in growing this business, and building my brand, and going through my own change journey, like my own healing and change journey, if I ain't learned nothing else, what I have learned is that success requires failure. It just does. Success requires mistakes. Success requires, adversity. There is no easy path to success. And the truth of the matter is that in that confrontation, in that friction, right, that we come up against, the adversity and the failures and all of those things, in those things that's where the growth is, like that's where the lessons live. That's where the growth takes place. That's where the growth happens. If you think about, I mean, like this is how it is across nature. Like everything in nature requires friction in order for growth, in order for manifestation. We have the four seasons. Shit got to die off so it could grow back up. You know what I'm saying? So that it could come back brighter and better and all of that. Like, the water rises, the tide rises, and the tide fails. The tide rises and the tide recedes. Like, this is a part of the process. This is a part of the journey of getting to success and getting to, being successful. And listen, don't get me wrong. Like, trust and believe that I understand full well that this shit is a lot easier said than done. I'm not sitting up here like, oh yeah, Trees got it all figured out. Like, it's much, much, much easier said than done. And I think that's why it's so important to me to make sure that I am sharing with you all the ups and the downs, like really sharing you all what the journey actually looks like from my perspective, from my experience. I probably should stop at that because like it was yellow, it wasn't green. I'm gonna say I'm but yeah, like it's much easier said than done. Like I get that. I understand that of this, I am clear. But it can be done and it needs to be done and it is the reality, you know. I never said that, this healing thing was gonna be easy. Uh, it's not easy, but it doesn't have to be excruciating either. And I feel like for myself for a very long time and for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because we people and this is a shared journey. We all on this journey together. We're just at different points or places in this journey, but it's a shared journey. And so if you know like I know, then what you know is that this is a difficult journey that can a lot of times be made to be much more excruciating than what it absolutely actually really needs to be. And I think that that's because we spend so much time. There we go. It just make a lot more sense. Dutch pot. Dutch pot then changed their whole little, like the way that you get in the line and stuff. And it makes so much more sense. It needed time. Anyway, yeah, so we make our journey excruciating because we keep fighting back against, like the lessons. Like we are not allowing ourselves to see the lessons. Usually we're not able to see the lessons in those moments because we are so just like caught up in the moment. We're so caught up in the experience of failure, the experience of friction, the experience of, you know, failure. You know what I'm saying? And the emotional experience of that. And because we lack the skills that we to process the emotional experience of failure, we get stuck in it, right? We get stuck in it. And how many of y'all that said, "Oh, I feel stuck"? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm just stuck. I just feel like I'm not moving. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. I feel like this like nothing is happening, nothing is moving. it's a horrible place to be, and it's a difficult place to find yourself. You know, it's not a great feeling at all. And so, you know, as we battle perfection, I think it's important for us to understand that a part of battling perfection, or what battling perfection looks like, is first acknowledging and accepting the reality that failure is a part of our success, that failure has to be a part of the equation. It has to be a part of the expectation because it's there and it's going to happen, whether you prepared for it or not. It's going to happen. And I done got my ass caught off guard one too many damn times. And so I'm finally, I think, in a place where I'm learning to expect failure, and learning to embrace it and understand that it is a part of the journey. It is a part of the process. It's a part of my growth and change journey and my story ultimately, Um, and that's okay. And actually, not only is it okay, but it's actually a sign that shit is going well, which can be like counterintuitive, like it could be counterintuitive, but it is a sign that things are going well. Don't feel like it, but it is. Um, so let me see what y'all got in these comments. Hey Marty, hey Courtney, how are you? Marty says you learn from your mistakes. Absolutely. Hey Nicole, what's going on, girl? Nicole says, no, ma'am, you don't have to be perfect. That's an issue I think many of us deal with. Absolutely, many of us deal with. We compare ourselves to others, which is a big no-no. I know for a fact you are excellent at what you do. Well, thank you, girl. It's definitely not easy. You're absolutely right. Well, thank you. And I think, that's the thing, right? Like, that's the part, is that, like, no shade, no tea, no, like, no, none of that. But I also believe that I'm excellent at what I do. I know that I'm good at what I do. Actually, I know that I'm great at what I do. I know where my strengths lie. I understand that, you know, this is a gift that I have been given, that I have a huge responsibility to, not only to myself first, to myself and to my purpose first, but also to the in the fulfillment of my purpose, to the individuals that are waiting on me to get my shit together, to my villages, to you, you that's watching this video right now, to you, um that I have a responsibility to y'all, you know what I'm saying, um to get over my shit so that I can help y'all get through y'all shit and get on the other side of y'all shit. And you know a lot of times it's like, for me, I can only speak for myself, but I think that this is true for most of us, many of us at the very least, is that you know that you good. Like, you know that you know what you're doing. Like, you know that you on the right path. You know that you going in the right direction. Like, it's just a feeling that you have. You know that this is where you are supposed to be. You know that this is the path and the journey that you're supposed to be going down. You have that level of confidence. You feel like, yes, like this is the thing, this is the thing that's supposed to be happening, and I feel good about this thing, and this is where I am, and this is where I'm supposed to be, right? But then you have all of those past experiences, or you have the failures of others, or you have the expectations of others. You have unrealistic expectations. You have all of those negative thoughts and ideas and things like that that come creeping in, and they sow those little seeds of doubt. And then it's like, well, are you sure? Are you sure that this, like, you sure that you know what you think you know? Are you sure? I mean, you think people really care about what you have to say? Yeah, you might know what you're talking about, but then people ain't gonna try to pay you to talk about that shit. Or you get what I'm saying? Or do you think you deserve to be in a healthy relationship? You think you deserve, like, girl, you ain't nobody in your family got no money. What make you think that you're gonna be the one to break that cycle? What make you think you're so, and like all of the, we start talking ourselves out of it, right? Like, we know that we are the shit naive. Yeah, people still say that. I don't think people still say that, but we talk ourselves out of it, And I'm at the place or the point in my journey where I have more of an awareness of that internal dialogue that I'm having that is, preventing me from being able to, like, that negative self-talk, like, when that starts kicking in. And like I said, about a month ago is when I really I feel like I really kind of had that revelation where it kind of started to meld together for me. Like, this little piece of this came together with this little piece of that. And then all of a sudden they just kind of merged together for me, where I was able to get like this aha moment and have this understanding that, you know, for me, battling perfection looks like adjusting my threshold for, like, the criteria for what is to be considered a failure. That's a huge, huge, huge thing for me. It's a huge area of growth for me. And I would imagine that it's an opportunity for growth for many of you as well. But you have to figure out what your thing is. That is my thing. And you might say, you know what, I think that's my thing too. Or let me correct that. That is one of my things, because I'm on like the second or third layer of this journey. You know what I'm saying? So my first layer of shit, I dealt with that, and now, I'm the new shit then came up, which is really the old shit, but it's only new because it's coming up from the bottom. So, but it's old because it was further down. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my things, right? That's the thing that has come to light at this point, because I have been intentional about looking for those things. I have been intentional about asking those questions in that moment. What am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling that right now? What is going through my mind? Where did that shit come from? Where did I get that from? When was the first time I felt like that? Why am I in it? Like, why? Why? Like, really communicating with myself and asking myself those questions and answering those questions. More important, answering those questions for myself and being intentional, right? We talk about focused intentionality, being intentional about resolving that thing for myself, with and within myself, right? And as you keep answering, at first you might not know how to answer them questions for yourself, but keep asking, keep digging, right? The first thing you land on might not necessarily be the thing, but it might be the thing that gets you closer to the thing. You know, it's a process, it's a journey. You have to be patient with yourself, but you also have to be, consistent with yourself. You have to understand that, give yourself a little bit of wiggle room and understand that the journey can be and feel very overwhelming at times, but also be persistent with making sure that you keep pushing and you keep asking those questions. Because what's on the other side of that is liberation. Personal liberation. Once I made that revelation, that's something that has been plaguing me and plaguing me. And once I made that revelation for myself, it was like this huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. And so now, as I have all of these new opportunities that are coming my way, with afros and audio, doing the production aspect of podcasting, really building my speaking career, even like getting my courses and things like that in alignment and stuff like that. Like as I'm doing all of those things, I I feel less heavy. I feel much less heavy. And so I feel confident in my creativity and in the direction that I'm going. And so, I want that for you. I want that for all of you because that's the name of the game, you know? So leave me a comment and let me know what you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, in what ways are you battling perfection? Like, what does battling perfection look like for you? Tell me in the comments. Make sure that you like and give me some love on this video, please. It helps me greatly. Share this video with anybody that you think might benefit. And take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got for y'all tonight. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye, y'all.